Recent executive orders have stirred up protests around the country. But how does this order affect Stillwater residents? This is Bullet Broadcast. Welcome back. I'm Sam Stockard. President Donald Trump signed another executive order last week banning entry into the U.S. from Iraq, Syria, Iran, Sudan, Libya, Somalia, and Yemen. It was later learned that the ban does not affect green card holders, which had many people worried when the order was first signed. Currently, OSU has 68 students enrolled from the list of banned countries. Victoria Ribeiro took a look at how the executive order hits closer to home.
On January 27, 2017, President Trump signed an executive order to keep refugees and immigrants from entering the country for 120 days.
Immigrants and refugees from 7 predominantly Muslim nations are now banned from the country. Although the stories you have heard about citizens being detained, walking down the street, or even on an airplane may seem far away, the same horror story could happen here in Stillwater, Oklahoma, to members of the Cowboy family.
We do not know how it's going to affect. As students, we have no idea. We will want to have that clarity. Can we travel? Can we go home? Can we visit our friends in different countries? And will we be allowed to come back to our country? Especially those 7 countries that have been affected by this ban. We see the protests going on all over US. But as a student who's studying here, who came here only to study and focus on his academics, I don't know what else can I do besides that. Yes, protests are a way to show how you're feeling and what's wrong, but I think with that, all of us should try to focus on our academics. That's the primary reason we came here. And then one of the other reasons we are here in US is to show the cultural diversity of the world. We have over 2,000 students at OSU from over 100 countries, and as part of ISO, we do a lot of cultural activities that showcase our cultural diversity.
Monday night, President Hargis issued an update on international travel to the OSU community. The update stated no one that OSU is aware of has been detained and that the OSU Office of International Students and Scholars is currently awaiting legal interpretation for any changes to the U.S. immigration laws.
Well, the primary effect that it's had on the students is it's raised their anxiety level through the roof. There's a great fear of the unknown as to what's going to happen next. The fortunate part of all of this is the travel ban didn't go into effect until after we had finished most of our enrollment in our drop and add period. So fortunately, we didn't have any students caught in the melee of all of this. So this is what we're trying to remind our students more than anything else. The best thing they can do right now, concentrate on their academics, keep their immigration status healthy, and follow proper channels as far as expressing themselves. Honestly speaking, we're not sure of what the implications of all of this are going to be, and I think we're going to have to watch this thing progress through all 3 branches of the government until we have absolute certainty on exactly what's going to happen. So the kids who are on this campus have been extremely well vetted, and they're usually very intelligent, very dedicated kids whose primary concern is to make a better life for themselves. What more could you want?
This is Victoria Ribeiro for Bullet Broadcasting.
Thanks, Victoria. In the wake of the ban, President Trump fired sitting Attorney General Sally Yates on Monday night. She was fired for, quote, refusing to enforce a legal order designed to protect the citizens of the United States, unquote. This according to the White House. Yates wrote a letter stating she did not believe the travel ban was lawful and would not uphold it. Dana Benta will replace Yates as Attorney General. Tuesday night, the president announced his pick for the Supreme Court is Judge Neil Gorsuch, who sits on the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals. President Trump said he wanted someone who would, quote, interpret the Constitution the way the framers meant it to be, unquote. Judge Gorsuch has been known to have a firm belief that judges should, quote, apply the law as it is, focusing backwards, not forward, and looking to text, structure, and history to decide what a reasonable reader at the time of the event in question would have understood the law to be, unquote. It is this very belief, among other things, that drew the president to choose him. And on Wednesday, the Senate confirmed Rex Tillerson as the Secretary of State with a vote of 56 to 43. Tillerson was the former chief executive for ExxonMobil. The first of many Trump administration controversies started the second the transition occurred. Reporter Michael Cox has more.
As Donald Trump took the oath of office and became the President of the United States, he gained control over the White House website, among many other things. When President Trump's page became active, it became evident that a few pages were missing, including the pages for climate change, LGBT rights, and civil rights. Now when the pages are visited, they read, "Thank you for your interest in this subject. Stay tuned as we continue to update whitehouse.gov." Dr. Jeanette Mendez of the Oklahoma State Political Science Department shared some insight on the actions.
But everything that Trump has done so far is, while there is opposition to, seems to be very consistent with what he said he was going to do.
Critics of the Trump administration view this as a possible warning sign for the coming years, while others simply view it as part of the transitional process. Many students around Oklahoma State shared negative feelings towards the removal of the pages. Freshman Stephen Beckman said he didn't like what he thought the intentions of the removal may be.
Yeah, it makes you a little nervous, when you think about it, because it makes you think that, the government's trying to control you a little bit more by controlling what you can see.
Freshman Reese Hathaway shared a similar sentiment.
Yes, I think the removal of these pages from the White House website are a big warning sign for Trump's presidency.
Whether these actions truly are indicators of Trump's presidency or not, we will find out soon. With Bullet Broadcast, I'm Michael Cox.
The previous version of the White House website pages can still be found at obamawhitehouse.gov. In more local news, a judge denied Tulsa officer Betty Shelby's motion to dismiss on Wednesday. Shelby faces first-degree manslaughter charges. Her trial is set for May 8th. The weather the past month has been up and down, and Oklahoma weather is fickle. Reporter Austin Fontenot found out what you can do in the event of extreme weather.
If a storm is approaching us here in Stillwater, what do you do? How do you prepare for it? If you are here on campus, where do you go? I'm sure these are some of the thoughts that will crawl through your mind, along with many others. The manager of emergency operations, Ron Hill, talks about a few of these things regarding campus safety. The first thing that should be identified is the weather warning. In Stillwater, there are 3 types of weather warnings that are important to us.
The 3 primary that I just mentioned, severe winter weather and thunderstorms and tornadoes. Probably tornadoes is the most critical and life-saving.
Depending upon the warning, different actions are required to ensure your safety. A list of those actions, as well as other precautions, can be found online on the campus safety page. In the unfortunate event that bad weather is near, but you aren't home, do not panic. You can temporarily seek refuge in 27 locations around campus tabbed Weather Refugee Areas.
We don't use shelters on campus. They're weather refuge areas where you can go to get out of the weather, primarily for tornadoes.
The list for these areas can be found online at safety.okstate.edu under the Weather Safety tab. Also, additional information such as tips and how to prepare for such weather can be found there as well. This is Austin Fontenot with Bullet Broadcast.
Thanks, Austin. Can you think of any alumni who have returned to OSU and made an impact? How about an impact that could reach beyond campus? Reporter Allie Bond has found 2 alumni who have done just that.
What comes to mind when you hear the name McKnight? Former OSU graduate and member of the first McKnight class in the program, Trevor Davis, shares the first word he is reminded of.
Generosity. I think just because of what they did for me in my college career and many others, generosity is the first word that comes to mind.
Ross and Billy McKnight are 2 loyal and true alma maters who met at OSU and are now the benefactors of the McKnight Scholar Leadership Program and the sponsors of the new McKnight Performing Arts Center. With this program, the scholars receive mentors, experience leadership courses, undergo a simulated poverty experience, are encouraged to take an aptitude test, and undertake on an international abroad trip to expand their culture. Sophomore in Class 5 of the McKnight Scholars, Camry Bland, shares her experience.
It gives us opportunities to network and to volunteer and to just be a part of an organization that focuses so much on giving back and leadership.
But it doesn't stop there. On September 30th of 2016, Oklahoma State University held its groundbreaking ceremony for the new Performing Arts Center, where they announced their partnership with the New York Philharmonic Orchestra. And the 2 who helped them make it all possible? None other than Ross and Billy McKnight, who generously gave $25 million to the center. Through an email interview with former graduate of OSU and Class 3 of the McKnight Scholars, Allie Wiseman continues to explain how the opening of the Performing Arts Center will not only help the university, but the students as well. Quote, "I think this program will have a profound effect on the university. The partnership with the New York Orchestra is a wonderful opportunity to infuse culture on campus and in the Stillwater community." Unquote. To further reflect the impact these two have made on their scholars and students, sophomore and Class 5 of the McKnight Scholars, Tabitha Taylor, shares her view of the McKnights.
The McKnights are a great example of leadership because they're like the epitome of generosity and hard work and service to the community and to our university. So I feel very blessed to have someone like that leading the way and be able to look up to them as role models.
Clearly, Ross and Billy McKnight have a love for OSU and its students. And now with the Performing Arts Center, they're making that love global. This has been Allie Bond with Bullet Broadcasting.
If you want to know more about Billy and Ross McKnight or the program, you can visit McKnightScholars.com. A local business is hosting a fashion show in Stillwater this weekend. Alexis Winston has more.
February is here, and many high school proms are approaching. What better way to start your search for that perfect dress or tux than attending a fashion show dedicated strictly to this event? This Sunday, February 5th at 3 p.m., Formal Fantasy will be hosting their inaugural prom fashion show. Owner Stacia Smith is giving the community a chance to catch a glimpse of some of the hottest 2017 prom trends.
There are several distinct trends this year in prom. We've got lots of florals, so you're going to be seeing floral prints in the skirts and in the entire dresses, both mermaid cut skirts and ball gown skirts. We also see a lot of two-pieces, so you're going to see some two-piece outfits where you can then turn around and wear the top or the skirt separately, depending on what you want to do, how formal you want to be. Last trend is the illusion bodices with the very jewel encrusted tops, lots of bling, lots of sparkle.
This fashion show will be held at the Sherrard Museum of Stillwater History, accompanied with music, snacks, gelato, door prizes, and free admission. The inaugural prom fashion show will be held here in the auditorium of the Sherrard Museum of Stillwater History. It seats about 192 people, and Formal Fantasy owner Stacia Smith is looking to fill every seat as her models strut across the stage.
We are going to have 10 ladies. They're each going to wear 3 dresses, so you're going to see a lot of variety, a lot of different sizes, a lot of different colors. And we've also got one gentleman that's going to be our guy model, and he's going to be showing off quite a few fashions too.
The models are some of Formal Fantasy's past customers from a variety of high schools. So come out and enjoy the show. With Bullet Broadcast, Alexis Winston.
Doors open at 2:30 p.m. and the first 50 guests will receive a gift bag. And finally today we have Montel Vidot joining us once again, this time at a roundtable. Welcome back, Montel.
Thank you, Sam. It feels good to be back for another edition of Bullet Broadcast. My name is Montel Vidot, and you know, Oklahoma State athletics were really good this past week. From tennis, where the men's team won 2 straight to attend the ITA championship for the first time in 9 years, to Cowboys basketball, where Bedlam and Norman took place, and a late heroic shot snapped an ugly drought. Picking up in the second half with less than 2 minutes to play, OU up 2 and looking to find the best shot. Point guard Jordan Woodard would do just that when he pulls up at the elbow to hit the jumper. Now only down 1, OSU was relying on heavy defense and got it from Jawan Evans, who stripped Woodard and found Lindy Waters, who then passed it back to Evans, where he would try and make a play and come up short. Jeffrey Carroll would rebound it back to Evans, who then found Phil Forte in a sweet spot to hit the 3 and put them up 68-66. This win snapped OSU's 12-game losing streak at OU. Evans led the team with 24 points, and Phil Forte added 11. The Cowboys will have to focus back up when they play West Virginia on Saturday. From Norman, Oklahoma to Columbia, Missouri, the top-ranked Cowboys were able to out-wrestle the 7th-ranked Missouri Tigers this past weekend, 20-16, and remain undefeated. OSU will head to Edinburgh on Friday and look to keep the winning streak alive. So I know I talked about the NFL championship a little bit last week, but this week I wanted to go more into depth, and to do that I brought in our own analyst, Luke Garza. Luke, it's good to have you.
Thanks, Montel. It's good to be here.
So I know the NFL championship is on February 5th, and I want to talk about some major categories that will play a key role into the game. So first, let's talk about the talent positions, the wide receivers and running backs. Who do you give the edge there to?
This one's a pretty easy selection for me. I'm going to go with the Falcons group here, mainly because of Julio Jones, who's the main star of the group. The 6-year player out of Alabama, second in the NFL this year with 1,400 yards. He absolutely torched Green Bay's secondary last week for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then the Falcons also have a dynamic duo at running back in Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. The pair of running backs combined for over 2,400 yards to go with 24 touchdowns, and each of them had over 400 yards receiving. So each of those guys are going to be really valuable in this game.
Yeah, I completely see where you're coming from. Julio Jones is just a different type of receiver. I don't think the Patriots have gone against that kind of receiver in quite some time, so he may cause some trouble with that. On that note, I also want to talk about defense, the other side of the ball. Which unit do you think will fare better?
Well, the Patriots did lead the league in scoring defense this year. A lot of that did have to do with the teams they were playing, but with that being said, I'm going to have to go with the Patriots unit here. The Falcons are missing stud cornerback Desmond Trufant, who's out for the year after undergoing a pectoral surgery. Now, rookie cornerback Jalen Collins has filled in nicely, but he certainly is no Desmond Trufant. Now, if you look at the Patriots side, you have defensive mastermind Bill Belichick, who has 2 weeks to prepare for this explosive Falcons offense. Malcolm Butler made the game-winning interception exactly 2 years ago today against the Seahawks. He'll probably be the man guarding Julio man-to-man one-on-one. And then they'll likely have safety Devin McCourty over the top, who's been an all-pro selection at both the safety and cornerback position. So I'm going to have to go with the Patriots here.
And I can see why you say that. You give Bill Belichick time. He likes to scheme up some crazy things, and they tend to work. So I think the Patriots do have the better chance of having a better defensive unit. Now the almighty quarterback position. Who do you give the nod to on that one?
Well, I fully expect Matt Ryan to be named the NFL's MVP. He had an amazing season with 38 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, but Brady didn't have a bad season either. He set an NFL record for best touchdown to interception ratio with 28 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. In 12 tries, he won 11 games. In 16 tries, Ryan won 11 games. So it's going to be a great quarterback duel. With that being said, I just think experience and poise are really needed in this big of a game, and this is going to be Brady's 7th championship appearance. He's never been blown out in the NFL championship game, and 2 crazy catches at the end against the Giants have really caused him to lose those other 2. So I just think the combination of Belichick's game planning and Tom Brady's greatness in clutch situations will ultimately give the Patriots the win 34-24.
You're right. I want to add to that. The experience the Patriots have in the playoffs will become like a major factor for both teams, and I think the Patriots will pull out just because of that. So that is Luke Garza at his finest. Luke, it was good to have you.
Thanks, Montel.
Sam, back to you.
Thanks, Montel. That's the news, and this is Bullet Broadcast. I'm Sam Stockard. See you next week.